Welcome to the most deleted, shadow banned, demonetized, censored, and trolled channel on social media. Recipient of the Patriot Warrior Purple Q Award. Hello, this is Dave from Net4Truth USA, Inglorious Patriots. The date is June 5th, 2025, and the time now is 20:47 hours Eastern Time here in beautiful southern North Carolina. Since Microsoft's Copilot has been very helpful recently in some research I'm doing, I thought I'd research the procedures, which I already know, but I wanted third-party verification of what is the procedure that must happen when a prisoner commits suicide in his jail cell. So I decided to ask Microsoft's Copilot. I asked, when a prisoner commits suicide by hanging himself in his jail cell, what is the procedure that must be followed before the body is moved? Now, if you recall, if you're keeping up with this, all we've seen is pictures of a jail cell with all these jumpsuits strewn about and all this garbage all over the place. And that doesn't seem to jive with the facts here, but be that as it may, here is how Microsoft Copilot responded. When a prisoner dies by suicide, especially by hanging in a jail cell, there's a strict and sensitive protocol that correctional staff must follow before the body can be moved. Here's a general outline of what typically happens. Immediate response. Secure the scene. The cell is treated as a potential crime scene. Staff must avoid disturbing anything unnecessarily. And I might add, the prison is locked down when this happened. The whole place is locked down. Call for medical help. Paramedics or on-site medical personnel are summoned immediately to assess the situation and attempt resuscitation if possible. Now, may I add, by the time they get there, if the guy is still alive while he's hanging, he's dead by the time anybody gets there, but that's beside the point. Notify supervisors. The shift supervisor and facility administrators are alerted right away. Investigative procedures. Preserve evidence. All items in the cell, including the ligature and any notes or personal belongings, are documented and preserved. Photograph and document. The scene is photographed thoroughly before any movement of the body. We haven't seen any pictures of this dude's body hanging from a bunk bed, which I maintain is total horseshit. Coroner or medical examiner. The body cannot be moved until the coroner or medical examiner arrives and authorizes it. You got that? Medical examiner has to authorize movement of the body. They can't cut it down. They can't move it. They can't do shit. They determine the cause of death and collect forensic evidence. Reporting and documentation. Incident report. Staff must file detailed reports, including time of discovery, actions taken, and any witness statements. Mental health referral. A behavioral observation and mental health referral form is often completed to document any prior signs of distress or suicidal behavior. Well, we can go back to one of my videos that I did back in 2019 that shows Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in a North Vietnamese war bunker on June 25th, 2019. But that's beside the point. I'll leave that link in the description. Internal review. Administrative investigation. The facility conducts an internal review to determine if protocols were followed and whether preventative measures were in place. Policy evaluation. Suicide prevention policies may be reassessed especially if the inmate had previously shown signs of risk. These steps are designed to ensure transparency, accountability, and respect for the deceased, while also helping prevent future incidents. If you're curious about how difficult jurisdictions handle or want to explore suicide prevention measures in correctional facilities, I can dig deeper. And I told it to write a Freedom of Information Act request to Metropolitan Correctional Facility in Brooklyn, demanding a copy of the coroner's photograph of Jeffrey Epstein's body hanging from his bunk before the body was moved. In the letter, cite all applicable protocols cited above. Okay, Microsoft Copilot wrote me a letter, and I'll show it to you in just a second. Okay, here's the letter. Dated tomorrow, which is when I'm going to mail it, to the FOIA officer, Metropolitan Detention Center, Brooklyn, New York, 80 29th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11232. Subject: FOIA request for coroner's photograph and custodial death of Jeffrey Epstein. Dear FOIA officer, pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, 5 U.S. Code 522, I hereby request access to and a copy of the coroner's photograph documenting the body of Jeffrey Epstein as found in his cell, specifically prior to any movement of the body. I am requesting the images taken by forensic or investigative personnel that reflect the scene as originally discovered. This request pertains to standard correctional protocols typically followed in such incidents, which include securing and preserving the scene as a potential crime site, photographic documentation of the cell and body prior to movement, consistent with investigative and forensic procedure, authorization by the medical examiner or coroner before any relocation of the body, incident and administrative reporting, including official visual records maintained during internal reviews. The requested material is of public interest given the extraordinary circumstances surrounding Mr. Epstein's death and the implications for transparency, institutional accountability, and correctional facility protocol adherence. Disclosure of this photograph serves to verify that the proper procedures were followed and helps inform public understanding of the federal custodial standards. If any portion of this request is denied, please provide a written explanation citing the specific statutory exemptions and explain how the exemption applies. I request that any reasonably segregable portion of the material be provided. If there are fees associated with this request, kindly inform me in advance of processing. Thank you kindly for your time and assistance. I look forward to your prompt response as stipulated by FOIA guidelines. Let's see if we get any response to this FOIA request. This is Dave from Net4Truth, USA, Inglorious Patriots. Thank you very much for watching.
Ever since the Great Awakening, thousands of content creators like myself have been burning the midnight oil well into the wee hours of the morning, and millions of us who are awake are not getting enough sleep. Everyone knows that a good night's sleep is essential for efficient functioning of the cognitive processes that enable a person to discern truth from fiction and deep state-induced woke dementia. Well, years before I was asked to be an advertiser for MyPillow, I have been using their products. The first product I used was, of course, the pillows. I was impressed with the comfort, and I was able to fall off to sleep almost immediately rather than having to fight a bag of foam and trying to get comfortable. The pillowcases and Giza sheets are absolutely the bee's knees, and I have sets for the 2 beds I have in my home. Another thing is their body pillow. I suffer from a lumbar spine injury that is exacerbated by my preference to sleep on my side. Having the body pillow to roll onto alleviates the pressure and mitigates the discomfort allowing me to fall asleep quickly. Mike Lindell, a great American patriot, has an entire line of quality products that everyone should try. Once you sleep with the pillows and sheets, you'll throw the ones you have in the garbage or donate them to Goodwill. If you go to www.mypillow.com, there is a link in the description. As a viewer and subscriber to this channel, you can buy anything in the store for 66% off. That's 1/3 of the retail price. Just fill your shopping cart and use promo code N4T at the checkout. Take it from me, folks, I've been using Mike Lindell's products since 2015. There is nothing like them on the market, and I say this with 71 years of sleeping experience. Don't forget, use promo code N4T at checkout.